I fucking love Sherlock Holmes. I mean, fuck, Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, get used to that, baby. We're gonna be hearing a lot more of fucking spoonerisms.
That is really gonna fuck with me.
That's also not what that means, I don't think.
Isn't spoonerisms when you hug someone from behind in a vertical position?
No, spoonerisms is where, or is it spoonisms? It's something like that, where if you have two words that start with the same sound, so if I was like, I can't think of an example on the fly. Or, okay, so if I said, hand me the patroller controller, a spoonerism would be if I said, hand me the controller puntroller. You just flip those two
Yeah. Like,
sounds around.
like Runny Babbitt. Did you ever have
That's
that
a
book
much
as a
better
kid?
example. But no, I didn't. No, I did not have those books.
It was a Shel Silverstein book, Runny Babbitt.
Oh, interesting. Mr. Sholmes, tell us more about this book, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning?
1, someone was dead.
2, it was you.
That's literally it, though. Oh, yes. But first, let us be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me.
Yes, I understand, but what were they?
Allow me to elucidate. The 2 facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering the escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance.
Hold on, Mr. Sholmes, what made you think the victim was Russian?
Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor.
Apaepob.
That is the Russian word for wardrobe.
So he does know Russian.
Do you really think Cosmo-sama could have left a dying message in Russian?
I mean, he was sure in a hurry.
In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this joke version.
Kazuma was Russian, was he?
Initially, I considered Garderobe.
Garderobe.
May be the name.
Alright, so that's how you pronounce
Garderobe may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Guard, perhaps.
Robert Guard.
Isn't there a character named On Guard? Wait, isn't there a character named On Guard in the trilogy?
There's Luke Atney. Oh yeah, there's Matt On Guard.
Yeah.
But I
So
don't think it was a reference to that though.
It'd be cool if it was.
Maybe.
But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe here, at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so. I found you, faker.
Faker. Faker? I think you're the fake detective around here.
The renowned Russian revolutionary killer.
Why is it that I'm Russian too?
I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted.
Can you hear me? Can you hear my
Yes. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people.
Your memory does not say.
Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people?
No.
I had no idea!
And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong.
I took a photograph of the victim and the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details.
Fucking like what? Oh, he looks so sweet. This... this is Sholmes.
After the young man was discovered before the body was removed.
He's like holding the image out really far and like squinting and kind of tilting his head back. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this.
Oh god. Oh god.
I don't like that the music cut out for that. That was sad. That was tense.
That was sad as shit. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Okay, there's a little detail in the dialogue that I really like. When they're talking one-on-one, Susato and Ryunosuke, they refer to each other as San and Sama, but whenever they're talking in the presence of someone speaking English, and presumably also speaking English to each other, she says Mr. Naruhodo instead of Naruhodo-san. I think that's cute. I think.
Interesting. I did not notice that.
I think it's really cool.
Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes?
Have you ever met a Russian?
What?
What?
Oh,
What,
okay.
pray?
I thought you were just, like, talking to me, and I was like, what are you talking about?
No.
You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that.
Oh, yes. The train of reasoning that led me to the truth.
Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Russian words.
Certainly, if it interests you.
How many times I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian? Fuck, dude. Fuck. Can we talk about your deduction before the things you concluded about me? I mean.
The famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in.
Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part?
Ah, yes. The more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... Revolutionary Velian Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered.
Since when was Kazuma a Russian?
It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, Velian Bolshevik!
No, how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man! Let's look at his face!
Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Deal. Therefore, you have no doubt learnt to revolutionize your appearance as well.
Have you actually watched JoJo's? Cool, me neither.
And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say
Oh,
more?
fuck! It doesn't! He's right! Well, that's because I'm a stowaway.
What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? Oh yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
No mistakes.
Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with the newspaper reporters?
And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan?
Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan.
Where even is it, anyway? This Afghanistan place.
Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction.
A souvenir? Oh, thank you.
I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby.
The article about the revolutionary has been entered into the court record.
And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well.
On the back?
Pretty lady.
This is interesting.
Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san?
Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. Oh, it's in Russian.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think?
She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Oh, hi.
I'm 2D now too!
I'm here too.
I'm glad you've noticed this article.
He did really just butt in. That's so funny.
Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents.
Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes.
It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova.
Why are Russian names so hard to remember?
It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles.
Damn. How much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea! But I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money.
I'm gonna look up 20,000 rubles right now, because I just want to see. 20?
Yeah, please.
Rubles to USD. That's $245.
Right,
But we are in, like,
taking...
1800.
Right, so I think in 1800s, that's probably around, like, 20,000 or something.
Let me see. That's like $8,000. Okay, that's a bit. So Sato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves.
The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry.
Yes, I'm not surprised.
The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
It does seem to be the Russian thing to do.
They're always rushing out of Russia.
Rushing around.
I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo.
The article about the ballerina has been added to the fucking deck, or whatever. Alright. On the back?
Cast your eyes over it sometime if it interests you. Just like, kind of like 5 seconds ago.
Just like right now. Okay. Yeah, we read it. Alright. What were you doing? Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you?
Cosmo. Ah, yes, the victim.
Oh,
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? That was kind of cool.
the little hat tip.
Yeah. And then like the camera panning over.
It was cool.
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in pinning some text.
London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people.
Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading.
You mean you've read it already?
It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese.
Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Sato takedown is. Sato-san, aren't you gonna throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns?
I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean?
Life is so unfair. She's fucking gaslighting us, dude.
Anyway, to return to the matter at hand. Namely, this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details.
Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese.
A smattering, dear boy. A smattering! Sayonara! Bonsai! Mikado! Nado nado! I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none.
So what was all that showing off about before then?
If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged, my dear madam.
Oh, thank you, Sholmes.
The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound.
A whistling sound.
These are very deep waters. Pray, go on.
What the fuck does that mean?
The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
Speckled band. What on earth does that mean?
I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before.
Why would he describe it like that?
The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin.
Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been added to court record. We got a lot of evidence. Oh, now what are you gonna do?
So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Do you have somewhere to go?
No, I'm just bored.
As it happens, the victim's writing in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at the stagnation. We crave mental exhaustion. So, yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough.
Do you think perhaps that we could go with you?
No. That would be somewhat complicated.
What? But why?
A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer.
Oh. Oh, these.
After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter, no?
There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place.
Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. Why do they keep gaslighting him?
You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago.
Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did say that too.
Thank you, Sasato. Thank you.
You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, Sholmes? So what? Were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are.
Well, anyway, that was then and this is now.
What do you mean?
What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate.
Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name.
Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can. Oh, fuck!
Hiya! Bitch! After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part.
That's funny.
Funny. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door.
Good idea.
Oh, sorry. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Oh! Is that?
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh! Oh, yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir!
Yes? What can I do for you? It is
him!
Naga! I recognize
How's that
face,
tuberculosis treating you, bud?
But it can't be. It is!
Is. Oh, let's talk more to Inspector Hosonaga next time on Shadow Chat.
Yay!